Before we begin today, and I get all your comments, yes, I am a little bit sick. That's why it sounds like my nose is clogged. Let's just move past that. On this week's episode of Instagram Story Tests, I put out 4 recipes for you guys to choose from. The cheeseburger for a crowd, some crab cakes, eggplant parm, and of course, the salted caramel brownies, which inevitably won, not surprising. If you don't already follow me on Instagram and you want to vote on the next video, my @ is right here, David_Seymour1. But guys, this recipe is something I've wanted to do since the second it came out. Just look how good that thumbnail looks alone. I'm sure it's gonna be a sugar and caramel overload, but we'll see how it goes, so let's get right into it. So guys, for today's recipe, I just grabbed a few simple baking ingredients, which comprise of some kosher salt and some butter, some cocoa powder and a little bit of brown sugar, all-purpose flour and some white sugar, some chocolate chips, a few eggs, and some vanilla extract. And did I mention we are going to need a boatload of these caramel chewy candies. Step number 1 is to melt down your butter. I'm using salted butter for this because it did not say otherwise. Probably a dumb idea, but I combined that with some sugar and brown sugar and mixed that together until it became one cohesive mixture. I then added in some eggs and some vanilla extract and gave that another mix before adding in my dry ingredients, which include some flour and cocoa powder and a little bit of salt, which of course I'm gonna sift out. And thanks to these videos, I have learned that this is probably the single most important step of brownies. Fold in your dry ingredients. If you mix it, they become tough and dry. So just fold your dry ingredients in until they are barely absorbed by all the wet stuff and then stop. We can now just finish this off with some chocolate chips, and I was trying to decide between this 8 or 9-inch square pan because they didn't really specify in the video. At first I went with the 9-inch, I put down a little bit of butter and some parchment paper, and as I was trying to spread out my brownie mix, I quickly realized that this pan was probably wrong. There was no way I was gonna have enough batter to give 2 layers in this 9-inch pan, so I just transferred it over to my 8-inch pan before giving a layer of the caramel candies. I'm gonna be honest with you guys here, I was eating a few of these as I was doing this step, and I really couldn't eat more than like 2 or 3 without them becoming a little bit sickly. I don't know how a big block of brownie with 5 of them in the middle is gonna turn out, but we'll see. I covered up the candies with the remainder of my brownie mix before throwing it in a 350-degree oven for about 35 to 40 minutes, and when I took them out, I let it cool while I prepared the caramel glaze topping. About 1.5 cups of candy mixed with some heavy cream. You want to melt that down in the microwave in 30-second intervals, just kind of like you're melting chocolate, and eventually it'll come together and look pretty good. I finished off my brownies with the caramel mix along with some of my kosher salt. I tried to cut myself a piece and this is looking good, so let's give it a try. I felt stupid putting a tiny little brownie on a big white plate, so it's in a bowl, as you can see. I'm really questioning if the middle of this is done. You could tell by kind of like the chocolate part that might be a little bit on the raw side. Maybe they did use a 9-inch pan. So, as I kind of expected, it is just a punch in the face of sweetness. My nose is clogged. I could barely smell or taste anything, and I could sense that this is way too sweet. I would suggest either going with just the middle of the candies or just the top. I think both it's just too much. Or just the brownie part, because that always seems to be the best. It's not bad. I would definitely make it again, just do some of the changes I mentioned. I would suggest you guys doing it too. I'll give it like a 7.2 out of 10. I hope you guys enjoyed today's BuzzFeed test. If you did, leave me a big like. Thank you for bearing with me in my time of illness. Like I said, go follow me over on Instagram for the next poll. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know what you want to see next week. Other than that, have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you right back here next time. Peace!